picture, which is sort of has a blue wash over it, a bluish gray, I think I would say. And the thing I love about this is just looking at the detail of the clothing. Like, oh, you can't see that. Let me aim that down a little bit. Talking about this picture right here, the detail in the clothing is absolutely magnificent. You can see the details of her shoes. It's so fine. And you guys let me know if this camera isn't in the right position for you to indulge in looking at these pictures and things as well. Move everything back a little bit. And here we have Beeman's Pepsin. It's some sort of gum. And I think I remember seeing this gum as a child. And I believe this gum was absolute garbage. It was so bad. It was so not pleasant. And I think that if you go to a vintage retro kind of candy store, and I believe there's one in Pittsburgh, and I believe there's another one that's in like New Jersey somewhere. Maybe it's like in New York, not in New York City, but outside of New York City. I believe it's in New York. It's outside of New York. I want to say Brooklyn. And they're like two of the largest general. Go in there and buy any kind of candy you want, candies from around the world, the old vintage stuff that no one else is making or putting on the shelf. You will be able to find this gum in there. So if your grandma or grandpa are like, oh, I remember Beeman's Pepsin. I mean, just listen to the name of it, gum. And when I was a child, blah, 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 then you can actually order online from them and have some delivered. And tell them that the Velvet Lounge Life sent you. But here we have this absolutely stunning 1910s, maybe, I would say this is maybe even 1890 to 1910s train car. You could see the individual seats. Look at the work on this ceiling. First of all, nowadays having oil lamps hanging from the ceiling would definitely be a fire hazard. I'm pretty sure there are no quick fire exits. And just look at how roomy and open this appears to be. Remember, people were smaller then, we've been told, but that's actually kind of a myth. And here, this is just some sort of greenery that someone cut out from somewhere. I don't know what this is. Here we have this giant American flag. And one of the things that we do, and I did not do it because, like I said, it's the first time I'm seeing these pictures as well with you, is we will count the stars to figure out what year this was. Because, for example, if there were 48 stars, that meant that Alaska and Hawaii were not yet recognized as states in the United States. That's just the one I memorize. I also memorize if it had 13 stars on it. Like, obviously, those are like the two times that I can remember dates and things in history about flags. American flags. But anyway, you can count this. You can tell for sure that there are definitely stars missing by the way these stars are positioned, and there's plenty of empty blue space here. But like I said, you can count these stars, look it up, and see what year this piece is from. And then this is a gorgeous picture as well of this woman in service. You could tell she's in service because she has this, let me see if I can position that for you. She has this apron that's pinned to her clothing. Lots of people don't realize that ties were not really a thing. What people did is they pinned the aprons to their clothes to protect them, because like this is an outfit she probably would have wore for a couple of weeks before it actually got washed. And she probably only had 2, maybe 3 outfits. And then here we have this little cutout picture. This, guess what this is advertising? Guess. Yes, Ivory soap, which has been around for hundreds of years. We still use Ivory soap on occasion. I find that it's best like if your skin is dry. Otherwise, I think it just has a lot of fat in it. So if you have oily skin, you might not want to use it. Here we have this gorgeous sort of Egyptian revival lady. It's also a bit of Art Nouveau because of all of this flora and fauna that's around her, looking in the mirror, admiring herself. And once again, those, like I told you, matchy, that you have something like that going on this side. However, this is more of I live in the palace. This is more of I work outside of the palace. And then here we have this couple in a very spicy embrace for the day. This would have been completely inappropriate. It would have been almost akin to almost having a vertical relationship. I'm trying to find the appropriate words here because of how close their bodies are. Look at where his hand is. So this, I would love to know what was written on the back of this particular card and what that was about. Here we have something, this is like a message about the passage of time, because you have a, what were these things called, you guys? Tell me down in, because we used to use these for boiling eggs. We used to call them egg timer, but that's not the real official name. And here we have this almost cartoony picture, which is kind of weird, of this guy. He's talking to this lady. She has her fan. There's some people in the background. It's just that, like, the drawing on it isn't the best. But it's super colorful, like incredibly colorful. And then here we have this little guy. I think that there was a person, and if you watch, his name is Michael Todd, The Cult of Vintage. This is by an artist that he likes. Oops, you can't see it. This is by an artist that he likes, and I don't remember who that artist is, but that artist also wrote a lot of children's books, something to do with the brownies. So this is one of those brownies, and this is another brownie figure, and they're always a bit comical, a bit naughty. Here we have what appears to be a well, and they rigged up all this mechanical stuff, which is made from sticks. Well, okay, let's be real. It's made from logs, timber, rope, and some chain to make it easier to haul water. I don't know why anyone would think that that would be the most interesting picture unless you're an architect. And this is a really pretty picture as well. Sort of a peekaboo, sort of. I don't know if this is a postcard. It doesn't feel like it's a postcard. Actually, it could be a postcard. And it has this pretty scene on it done in like this grayish green and black with white. And then here we have just a bit of flourish. Are there words on this? It almost looks like there's words at the bottom, but I can't tell. I don't think so. And you guys will see these pieces of paper. I don't know why these are in this book. I don't know what they mean. When I look at the pages, I don't see any, but there must be some reason that someone wanted to put those in there. But here we have this gorgeous horseshoe with two little kitties. They're so cute. And a giant dragonfly, which if I was them, I would definitely be afraid because it's like almost as big as they are. Beautiful daisies. Once again, amazing color. Look at the shape of this. It was literally cut out, not cut out, but presented in this shape. It's punched out or something. Here we have another tobacco card, and it has the person's name on it. Let's see what it says. It says Leola Bell. So Leola Bell, I don't know if she was an actress of the day or whatever. In some cases, these were your pinups of the day, your what we would consider to be naked swimsuit models. I say because most of these people nowadays are naked. They leave nothing to the imagination, which is absolutely ridiculous. And they think they're being provocative when really they need to put on some clothes because let us have an imagination. I mean, it depends. Like if it's an art type of thing, but most of it isn't for art. It's just for show. But she would be considered to definitely be partially nude because even though she's wearing stockings, look at how much of her, that's why she's presenting her leg, that how much of it is nude, and she's even holding up her dress a bit. That would have been considered very spicy. Here we have this beautiful balloon. What I like about it, honestly, is this bulbous part. I feel as if the artist got lazy when it got to this portion of it. And then here we have, which I don't get it, but Brown and Thompson Company, seed department. I mean, a scary piece of corn is riding a bike. And Brown and Thompson was a department store downtown Hartford, Connecticut. Many, 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 many years, and I'm saying like 200 years later, it would be known as Brown and Thompson as a restaurant. And now the Brown and Thompson no longer, the building is still there. Lots of the infrastructure is still there, but now it's some sort of brewery company owned by someone else. So yes, I can give you some history on that one. And here it says Corn Run, the swiftest down and be first to get to town. It's supposed to rhyme and it's fine. Here, there's a date. I think it says 1891. I think it says 1891, but I can't really see it. It's kind of upside down. Here is this gorgeous card of these two cute little girls in the window. You could tell by the way they're dressed and just by looking at the window, their family is poor, but these girls are happy. And here we have this gorgeous picture of this guy who considered a dandy. A dandy is a person who would, dress in bright clothing, and they were black, white. Sometimes they could be Hispanic, but mostly they were black men or white men. And you would just put on your dandiest clothing and, and notice how he's presenting his leg or his foot that actually had a meaning for men. And they would actually have their shoes extended at the toe so that it signified that they were more virile than someone who would have a short, stubby-toed shoe. So, yes, I know, history and education today. Love his yellow trousers, and I love his hat, a little squishy on the side, and of course he's wearing a boutonniere. Nowadays, this would be akin to someone who is dressing in a sprezzatorian style. So sprezzatura is a style that is believed to come out of Italy, Spain, something like that. You can look it up. I dress a little bit in a sprezzatorian style myself, but as a female wearing female clothing. So that means if I go to the grocery store, to see me in a fancy hat with a fascinator attached to it would not be uncommon. And, the other attire that goes with that. But I do it more so in a 1940s German punk style, if that makes any sense. So anyway, you could see he is definitely looking fabulous. And once again, I would love to know what the back of that card says. I would love to see if I could date it, etc. Here we have another really cool cutout piece. It's in the shape of a fan. As you can see, let's see if I can pull that down even more for you. It's in the shape of a fan, completely with a little divot scalloped around the edge. And it has this pretty little island scene. The funny thing about it, those almost look like eyes. So is this the evil island of Dr. Moreau? Hopefully not. And here we have these two pretty, once again, mirror images almost, flowers which are embossed, so it's raised up, like it feels absolutely amazing. This one is in stellar condition. This one has a little bit of a condition issue. This one, let's see if we can sneak and look under it. See if anything is written. Nope, I don't see anything written underneath. And let's do at least, oh, okay, we're going to have to do this page for sure. Wow. Wowzers, Anthony would say at Van Life with Anthony or whatever the name of the channel is. Yes, I'm shouting out a lot of different YouTubers tonight. Here we have the Hartford Wallpaper and Decorating Company. I have never heard of this company, of course, and they deal in painting, decorating, and fresconing. Sconing? I've never heard of that before, so I have to look that word up to see what method that is, but it lists all the different things that they do, and it says estimates given and contracts solicited. They are also on Asylum Street. If you remember, we had an earlier piece where the folks were located on Asylum Street. That's part of your downtown Hartford, Connecticut area, and downtown Hartford had numerous streets that kind of run on a grid, and Asylum was one of the long streets, just like Farmington Avenue is one of the long streets, and Main Street is a very long street. Those are your main three branches, and then off of those there would be these little smaller streets, and plenty of businesses, so people would travel to the Hartford area right up into the 1980s. I would say right up until the middle of the maybe 1986 or so. People, even for Christmas, people would go downtown to do all their shopping, to have a meal. There would be different Christmas events, annual events even. And then when the highways were put in, that killed downtown Hartford. So unfortunately, a lot of these old-timey businesses that had been in business for 200 plus years all started to go out of business. If I had known what I know now, I would have definitely shopped some of their clearance sales, or if I was brave enough, which I definitely was not, I would have talked to some of those folks to try to get even more ephemeral items. I would have been a miniature ephemeral hoarder, but everything would have to fit into a single closet because I do have many, many, many limits. I don't want to be a hoarder, so I'm like, no, that can go, that can go. And that's one of the things is I will easily let things go, especially back then. But can you imagine? This is just a sample. There's like, look, here are samples of the things that we can make for you. Custom. Can you imagine having something like this made custom for you today? It would be unaffordable. So we're going to, yes, I'm giving you a little look at it. Look at it. Put your face up to the screen and look at it, you guys. Look at this froggy. He is so cute and hilarious. But this is where we're going to end today. So we will come back to this and enjoy it even more the next time, because now I'm not going to flip any pages. I close this book, and the next time I pick it up, it will be on camera with you guys. So please remember to come back. Subscribe to the Velvet Lounge Life here on YouTube, as well as Whatnot, Instagram, and Facebook. I have so many cool things coming up, and you guys deserve to be part of that. So you'll only know if you're involved and part of the community. And yes, look at the community tab of YouTube. I'm sorry, yes, of YouTube for additional like posts and information. That stuff is like, it's sort of like being on Facebook or Instagram, where it's like a picture, some information, some fun polls and facts and things like that. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments of this video so I can reference back to it. Thank you so much for checking us out. Our mailing address and information is down below in the description. There's offers and free things, completely free for you guys down there as well. Take care and enjoy.